issue or a question around listing side? What you got?
Have a listing. They got the listing. I pretty much talked to her on the phone. It was a lead. I talked to her on the phone. We bonded. So when I went there to my presentation, I didn't have to do it because we were already talking.
Great.
About
I only got 20 minutes. What's your issue?
My issue is we can't find a house.
Okay. Great.
She wants 250, and 250 is the new 150. And she wants a new house.
Okay. So she isn't going to want to sell her current home until she finds another one.
And I used the mic spiel about why she should sell.
Okay.
We can't find it. No, because there's no warranty.
Okay, great. So she won't be willing to sell her current home until she finds another one.
She was, but then the husband was like, no way. So he kind of overrode her, so now they're arguing.
Okay, so I didn't get my pronouns right, but is that the situation?
Yes,
they don't want to sell their house. Have you already listed it?
No.
They don't want to list it. Okay, great. What should she do as an agent?
You could walk away.
Walk away. Okay, that's your natural tendency. Okay, but maybe there's a more strategic answer. Yes.
Really try to find them their replacement home before they list.
Okay, good. That's one answer. Adam?
Propose doing like a reverse contingency.
What's a reverse contingency?
So you would write it so that if they hadn't found their next home within the 2-day due diligence period, that they could also terminate.
Right, but the thing is, I tried that. They don't want to do it.
Okay, hold on. Now look, I'm going to personally challenge you today. Your role is to not say no to every idea that comes up, okay?
I did what the idea was.
Okay, Adam, you said a reverse contingency. Carl, what do you say?
You could do like a home partner situation for a temporary rental.
Say that again.
Home partners.
How is Home Partners gonna come into play?
You find something temporary. It's not a forever home. They can be less picky on something. You get a sale, and then over the course of the next year, they can look for a home that'll fit them.
So you're saying that her homeowners could go rent a property? Okay, so
If you do home partners, you get 3 sales out of the one client.
Okay, they could rent. Any other ideas? Any other ideas? Could they put it up for sale anyway? With the idea that you don't have to accept an offer if you haven't found another one. I mean, just because I put my home up for sale, does that mean I have to sell it? Some people think it does. In what situation would I be obligated to accept an offer on my home? None?
Due diligence posting.
No. What part of that got me out of the deal?
Full price.
Close today. I don't want to close today. Your offer is rejected.
Hope it didn't close date.
So, full price, all cash, close whenever I say, no due diligence. Can I still get out of the contract? How?
Close in 10 years.
It's close whenever I say.
Right.
Okay. So, what would I still be obligated to? I'm still not obligated. I guess could I be held legally liable? Could they sue me for specific performance? I guess they could, but let's just be real for a second. In the real world, somebody's going to offer me full price, cash, close whenever I say, and no due diligence period. The odds of that happening. Okay. Is it possible it could happen? Is it remotely likely? No. So, could I do that? Okay, so I see we brought up 4 answers to this situation because this is a real world situation. I don't want to sell my home. I want to buy another home, but I don't want to sell my home until I find the home I want to buy. But I can't buy the home I want to buy if I haven't sold my home. Catch-22, right? So, well, I don't want to even put my home up for sale until I found the other home I want to buy. Well, when you find the other home you're going to buy, how are you going to buy it?
Right.
They're going to wait for you to put your home up for you haven't put your home up. No. Are they going to be willing to negotiate with you?
No, because most builders are not doing contingencies to sell their house. Like,
Right.
found them a builder, found them in the neighborhood is being developed, they don't really like the way it looks.
Okay, that's a whole separate issue. So right now on the listing side, we've come up with 4 solutions. The first one I don't really know is a solution. No, and drop them. Okay. Well, if you don't want to do that, you could offer them the reverse contingency. You get a home buyer, they make an offer, they have a due diligence period. Guess what? We do too. Same amount of time. You want a 10-day inspection period. I guess I want 10 days to go out and see if I can find another home that I want to buy. If I don't find another home that I want to buy, I cancel the contract. Right? It's one way of doing it. Carl said, well, they could go ahead and sell the home and do a short-term rental. And as they find, that's a 2-move situation probably, but it is a solution. Or we could put it up for sale anyway, and if you haven't found something you like, we'll just reject the offers. Which one of those would you like to do? I don't want to do any of them. I don't know. At that point, how motivated would you say the customer is? Okay, then you might revert back to number 1. I don't know. Now, what?
Depending upon the house, what about the guaranteed offer program?
There you go. We don't call it that anymore. What do we call it? Instant offers. Have you submitted, Rhonda, have you done that? Have you submitted their home?
I'm waiting for them to come back.
Okay, good. Good idea there, Brenda. Glad I thought of it. Tara?
Or if they don't want to do any of those, start putting them home that fit their criteria. And, they try to guide them towards something to find on the system. And once they kind of get the area where they want to be, they can try to work with them.
Okay, so let's go there for a minute. You've got somebody, because I think we are all bumping into this, right? On one side of this. So on the home buyer side, you've got somebody who's not realistic. They want a $250,000 home for $150,000 or whatever the numbers are, right? They want more than their budget allows for. Anybody ever bump into that? Yeah, that's a common problem. What do you do? How do you get them to be more practical and realistic?
Found for the best place, just let them lose a house or two.
Okay.
And then they become realistic. Then they start understanding because there's no amount of arguing with them because they just think that I'm against them. If I'm telling them this is not going to work.
Okay. So last year I spent some time with a friend of mine who sells real estate in Toronto. At this time that I was speaking with her in Toronto real estate, we've never seen a hot market like they had. Now it's flipped around on them a time or two since then, but list price was just where you started, and you go up from there. So I asked her, well, how do you deal with home buyers in that situation? I get home sellers, but how do you deal with home buyers in a marketplace where the average days on the market is less than a week and homes are selling above list price? How do you get your home buyers to listen to you? And she said what Leah said, I don't. I know that in this market, they're going to have to lose out on 2 or 3 homes before they're going to be willing to accept the reality of the marketplace. So I have to be patient, let them experience that, because me telling them, now see, that's not what any of us want to hear. What we want to hear is how do we get them to do what we want them to do right away. You don't most of the time. You have to reconcile yourself to they're going to have to lose out on a couple of bumps, and you cancel Shelley.
I was going to reiterate what she said, but also sometimes you can prepare them for that on the front side. They're more likely to listen because you've then predicted the future when it happens.
Okay, but so that's called setting expectations, and that's always good to do. But then the other sales speak is sharing values. So when are you setting expectations with me, and at what point do we not share values anymore? You just sound like you're trying to get me to buy a house really quickly at full price so it'd make your job easier. You ever run into that?
It depends on how motivated they are too, right?
So
If they want a house by this date, then you gotta tell them what's going on.
no, I don't think so. I don't think they might be motivated, but still not be willing to accept the realities of a marketplace. In which case they're going to either, if they're unwilling to listen to your advice, which wouldn't be unusual, then they're going to have to experience it for themselves. Who, just a quick show of hand, who has kids? Most of the room has kids. Your kids always do what you tell them to do? One of your kids, come on, who has a kid that's the has to touch the stove kid? Like, don't touch the stove, it's hot, and the kid has to touch the stove anyhow. You know that kid? Doesn't matter what you tell them. You were that kid? Right. Does it matter if you tell that kid? A couple weeks ago, I'm at home, Jane made dinner, and she set my plate down in front of me, and she had oven mitts on, and she goes, "Be careful, it's really hot." And I reach over and pull the plate to me. And I'm like, damn, it's really hot. And I look up, and she's looking at me like, I can't believe I actually married you. You're that damn stupid. Didn't I just tell you the plate was hot? Yeah, you did, but it's not hot until I tell you it's hot. I'm that kid too. Right? Doesn't matter what you tell me, I'll decide. So what do you do with these people? One is be patient, understand that I'm going to have to touch the plate before I agree it's hot, and you're going to let me go through the exercise. What's another strategy for dealing with them? Tara?
Another strategy going with this.
Speak up.
Advise them about what they're getting ready to do. Let them know what's important right now is that it's a seller's market. You're going to have competition. I would rather you have the appraiser go back and forth with them about what they want for their price, as opposed to you going back and forth with them and somebody else doing what you want.
Okay. So how could Tara make her point more believable? Less, she's just trying. I think you're just trying to get an easy deal out of me. Tell them stories. Tell them examples of what's another way of doing it.
Phone calls.
Who saw my post yesterday and ran out and bought a copy of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution?
I saw it. I read it all.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, so you're going to have to endure a 30-second lecture from me. How dare you call yourself a professional? How dare you? Don't call yourself a professional in front of me. Professionals stay up on what's going on in their marketplace, especially when it's brought to their attention that there's something out there that they should. Amateurs wing it. Shame on you. Share information with your customers. Don't tell them, hey, Adam, I thought you might find this interesting. And then it's data, it's other people, experts, right, not us, telling them. Share the information with them. If they're your customers, shouldn't you be doing that anyhow? If I'm your customer, how can I respond to the realities of the marketplace if I don't know what they are? And if I'm working with a real estate agent who doesn't know what the realities of the marketplace are either, because they won't bother to engage in the tools that surround them, then am I really getting effective help? Okay, so watch this. Watch how our egos are in play. You want to call yourself a professional. You want people to listen to you, but you don't do the work necessary to make your opinion valid. It's just your opinion. It's not substantiated by anything. How dare you? And then expect me to believe and follow your advice. Wow, who do you think you are? Like, what advanced degrees in economics do you have? Right? If I'm your customer, you know what I want? I want the information from you so that I can make good decisions, not for you to make them for me. I want the information. Don't tell me what you think interest rates are going to do. Give me the information I need so I can make that decision. Is my home going to go up in value? I don't know. And you don't know either. If you want me to believe you, if you want to be a credible expert with me, share the information I need so I can make a good decision. Your folks, it's a great example today, and we're all going to bump into it. That's what they're saying. I'm scared. I don't want to be caught in a bad position. I don't want to make a bad decision. Give me the information I need for me to make the decision. Now, I want somebody to tell me how it's any different for you. You allow other people to make decisions for you? Jay, I know you pretty well. Ain't nobody making decisions for you. And I don't let other people make decisions for me either. And your folks aren't going to let you make the decision for them. Give them the information they need so they can go along with you. Right? If you think the market's in tight supply and homes are selling quickly, and if you want me to be quick and decisive and aggressive with my home purchase, why should I? Because you tell me that? I think you just want an easy sale out of me. You're a salesperson. You only get paid if I buy something, and then you get paid by how much I buy. Mm-hmm. Are you a trusted counselor?
Of course.
Or are you a greedy salesperson?
Of course not.
Yes.
The market side, there's not enough listings, but I do have 2 listings. I've received several offers on both of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're low offers, and the
Okay.
offers are decent. They're not even, they don't have the financing in place, or they're not negotiating even with, I lost an offer yesterday because of $4,000. Nobody budged over $4,000.
Okay.
So how do you deal with that? And how come you're
So what's your list price on that property?
$214?
Okay. Will you be the homeowner?
Yes.
Okay. So the buyers are up to $210.
Yes.
Okay, great. And so you be the homeowner. So Leah, it looks like the home buyers are up to $210. They say this is their best and highest offer. How do you feel about $210?
I can't let go at that price. For that price, I'd rather just rent the property.
You'd rather rent it? Okay. So Leah, it appears like we're $4,000 apart. And what I hear you saying is that you want to buy your house back from them in the hopes of making $4,000 more in profit.
Well, I'm saying that for that price, I already dropped the price $15,000 because
Okay.
that's what I needed to make. And if I have to drop another 4, I'm not going to sell it. And you and the other agent cut your commission.
Okay. Well, we could. That's something we could talk about. Okay. But $4,000, you're willing to buy the house back from them to make $4,000.
Buyer, it's only $4,000.
Okay. So would I cut my commission $4,000? No. So Carl, if you're the selling agent, hey, Carl, looks like we have a $4,000 problem. Would you be willing to give $1,000?
Yep.
Okay, I'd be willing to give $1,000.
I did go that route.
Jay, you're the buyer. Would you be willing to pay $1,000 more to get this property? Okay, Leah, we have a $1,000 problem.
Let's do it. We actually went that route. The seller said he would.
Yeah. So break it down.
But the selling agent said, no way.
Okay.
And I did explain to him, hey, your original offer, your commission will be only $500 more than it would be with this offer if you go with it. It's not $1,000 cut.
Okay. Then we don't have a deal.
And he still said, no.
Okay.
His split is not, for his split is not worth it.
Right, because he could take them and sell them something else and get the full fee. I get, then we don't have a deal. So do homes not sell even in markets like this? Why? Price, okay. Any other reason? Marketing. It's the only two reasons why homes don't sell. Don't get confused on this. And be careful about dying on that mountaintop. We're at the right price. Okay, then you haven't marketed it effectively. Can anybody think of another reason why a home doesn't sell in today's market? Other than those two things. Is there a third reason?
Motivation and selling.
Okay, motivation, what is that?
I mean, I think it would still boil down to price, but I mean.
Right. That's the reason why your price isn't right, is because they're not motivated, right? So why is Leah's house not selling?
Prefers to rent and drop the price.
Okay,
And further,
So-
drop $16.
can I offer you something? Sorry to pick on you, but you volunteered.
Oh, yes, I have.
What's the problem here in Leah's situation?
The sellers stated that he needed to make a certain amount of money.
It's not the problem. I'm going to contend that's not the problem.
Give them the value of why?
I don't think that's the problem either.
Seller motivation.
I'm sorry?
Seller motivation.
I don't think that's the problem either. You know what I think the problem is? Leah, you're over-invested in this situation.
Maybe I should just.
I think that anytime what I want is, who's ever been in a relationship where you liked somebody more than they liked you?
Everybody.
Anybody ever been in that situation besides me? Rob, how's that work out?
Not well.
Not well at all, right? That's going to end bloody, isn't it? When you care more than the other person, when Leah cares more than her homeowner, look, if he's nonchalant, frivolous about it, like, well, then I'll just rent it. I guess the answer is, well, then I guess you should. Well,
Ask him some questions before you list the property about the expectations of what the market might happen, and see if he's flexible on the price too.
okay, well, I don't know what that has to do with the price of tea in China, but
Well, I mean, if you got an offer 4,000 or 5,000 less than asking, would you be willing to accept it?
Well, the thing is that you're already dropped the price $16,000. It's 2 or 3 days ago, and then we got an offer.
Gotcha.
So it's still $30,000 too low. The original offer was $30,000 too low what we were asking. Now the new price, and we got that up to 210, but which was $25,000 more than the offer.
Did you foresee that?
But we still.
okay, hold on. Let's get back on track here. Here's the point. And really think about this. When you care more than your client cares, it's going to end bloody for you. You're over invested in this. If the person doesn't care if they sell their house or not, then you got to move on. Next. When we care more than they care, it's not going to end good for you. If they're not motivated to sell it, if they're not practical and serious, there is a point where you go next. You are going to be unwilling to do this if you don't get your daily activities completed. You are going to be over-invested in your buyers and your sellers. You are going to care more than they care, and it's going to drive you batshit crazy. I promise you. You want another deal. I want all of you to always want another deal. You better not need it. Because when I need a girlfriend, instead of I just want a girlfriend, then my behavior gets compromised. And it's not going to be pretty. I want another deal. I don't need it. So if you don't want to sell your home under reasonable terms, I guess I either need to, okay, great, well, we'll just wait for the next one. Or I can't spend time with you anymore. But how do you get people to do what they don't want to do? I ain't in that business, and I'm going to really encourage you guys not to be in that business either. Don't go there. Don't try to get people to do what they don't want to do. We have 7 million people in Atlanta. You don't suffer from a lack of people. Go find people that do want to buy or sell with you. And the ones that don't, wish them well, give them a big hug, and move on. Who doesn't agree with that? Here's the key to life with that. This is the difference between this being a very unpleasant job and the greatest job you can possibly have. If you will just get your daily activities done every morning, it will come naturally to you. You won't have issues like this. You will just naturally go, yeah, I got no time for this. Or, that's fine. We'll keep it for if the next person, maybe. Or these are just people trying to find a steal. But I'm not really invested in whether it does or not because I've got so much in my pipeline all the time. It'd be nice. I'd like another deal this month, but if I don't, I'm okay. And when you're not there, this isn't fun. And you're going to run into people all the time that won't do what you want them to do. And there's no fix to that. Don't try to get into that business of getting other people to do what you want them to do. It's a bad business. Make sense? Ready?